The first question, your intro, is basically tell us a little bit about yourself and what are your campaign goals?
So my name is Peter Hernandez. I'm born and raised in San Benito County, a father of four, a husband, a small business owner. I've actually been on the school board already since 2014. I was elected and then went on to win this supervisorial race in 2018. So my goals are it's to renew, restore, and revive, to renew the rule of law and basically respect I would say the thing that levels the playing field, our Constitution, the thing that when it comes to these policies, I'm seeing a lot of issues, unfunded mandates. We have a lot of contradictory elements that are actually creating confusion amongst our public. Restoring parents' rights to educate their children. I think the family unit is such a profound element that it ultimately is the fabric of our community and something that strengthens us. We need to have family first policies. And then also reviving the middle class, the muscle of our economy. As a small business owner, I've been impacted and I've seen these impacts. I have a lot of relationships with the business community, and I understand that overregulation, ultimately the middle class is shrinking, the small business community is ultimately the entrepreneurial spirit of Small Business Administration declares that we are the strength of the economy and we need to be empowered and encouraged, not diminished. Thank you.
Pass the first test. The second question, you'll have 2 minutes to answer this one. What are the top 3 issues facing the 18th Congressional District, and how will you work collaboratively and bipartisanly to resolve these issues?
Thank you. So, as a sitting San Benito County Supervisor within the last 2 years, I've dealt with some hot issues, right? I mean, the mandates, all these things between the masks and the vaccines was really, really tough. But I have, I pulled aside each county supervisor and I said, look, we may disagree on things. I will disagree with you on policy, but I will never attack your character. I wanted to always make sure that I do believe a house divided cannot stand. We have to be a unified body. We have to be willing to work together, right? And my ultimate goal is not to strong arm you. It's to ultimately have such a strong enough argument to be able to convince you. That's if I'm obviously right, but just the same, that dialogue is the opportunity for good decision making. So when it comes down to the actual issues, right? Prop 47, Prop 57, AB 109, I've mentioned it before. Those things have actually hurt our communities. They're under the guise of protecting families, but just the same, they've actually damaged our communities when it comes down to decriminalization laws, increases in crime through smash and grabs. You have now fentanyl issues in our communities. These are the kind of things, because of the decriminalization element, have actually torn our families apart and caused a lot of chaos in our communities. When it comes down to the economy, I mentioned just at the Board of Supervisors meeting just recently, we actually are in a place now where even a 3% raise will do nothing to curb the impacts of the inflation. Inflation is such a heavy hit on our families and our communities that we cannot mitigate it. So you're on average, even with a 3% raise in your job right now, you're still gonna pay almost $600 a month more, or $600 a year more in cost, because of the fact that you cannot curb the cost of this, the inflation. It's basically a tax on the lowest income earners. That to me is a travesty. That means we have to learn to open up the economy. We have to incentivize. We also have to work on opening up our pipeline. We have 70% of our energy coming from fossil fuels. Why are we actually getting it from our enemies? Why aren't we getting it here, where we actually have regulatory processes that make it cleaner and ultimately more beneficial to our community? Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And now you've got 1 minute to make some closing remarks. Hopefully everybody's learned a lot from you here today.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to say that when the shutdowns happened, I went to work. One of the most proudest moments that I have was working with the Chamber of Commerce with the downtown revitalization. We basically, from idea to inception, we worked on basically a downtown revitalization. I just called my city manager with the support of my board, and I said, Brett, what do we need to do to get the downtown to happen? He says, I have the money for the traffic study, and that's all. I said, what if we can work on getting you the rest? And from there, we had meetings. We ended up involving contractors. We involved the Chamber of Commerce. They helped us, and the Hollister Downtown Association. We worked together, and in November, we ended up having a ribbon cutting where the downtown is officially revitalized. I got creative and I got to work, and that's the kind of stuff that I bring to Washington, D.C. That happened in 3 months. In 3 months that happened, and that was under the guise of the CARES Act, basically mitigating COVID, which outdoor was considered safer, and that's what I bring to the table is creativity, and I'm willing to work in the time of chaos. I think that I actually got to work such a way that the public really saw it right away. Thank you.